I'd like to show how we can create simple application on UbiqMobile platform. We will try to create application with one number counter on the screen and two buttons. One button for increasing counter and another button for decreasing this counter. First of all, let's create new project. We can see a set of pre-installed project templates from our UbiqMobile plugin. Let's choose empty template. We can see a screen of architectural designer. From toolbox, we can take elements and drag it onto this screen. In our case, we need only one element with type application, named application 0. Okay. When architectural diagram is ready, we need to build source code, to automatically build source code. Just building a solution. Okay. Now we have samples of source code built. Let's take another file from our project that was generated with UbiqML extension. This will continue UI of our creating application. Now we can see UI designer. It contains sample UI screen of a mobile device and a toolbox with a set of different graphical elements. First of all, let's take text label element and drag it onto our screen. It will simulate our counter. Okay, then we need a stack panel and to put it below our text label. Then we go to properties window, change orientation of our stack panel to horizontal, and now we have a place for two buttons. Let's place them first button and second button. Okay, we have a general structure of our screen. Now let's tune format of our controls. First of all, let's work with text label. Changing its text from text label to 0, changing color to red, and changing font size to large. Okay, now let's change texts on our buttons. Instead of button string, for example, let it be plus. And for this button, let it be minus. Okay, now we have skeleton of our future UI ready. Saving it. Go back to our diagram, and go to the generated source code that was generated by our diagram. Now we need to make some code changes to insert declaration of our counter. Then we add description of our screen elements and some logic for processing increasing and decreasing our counter. For text label, it is called text block within the program. We take it from our Ubiq design resource file, take it by name, okay, now we have a variable for text block and two variables for buttons. In the same manner. And now we need to add our business logic. So for pressing plus button, we need to increase counter, and for pressing minus button, we need to decrease counter. Just adding handlers for two events connected with those buttons. Pressed is a predefined event. And now the same for event for minus button. Okay. So it's enough. Now we have all the business logic finalized, saving our source and starting in emulator mode just by pressing Start button in Visual Studio. Now we can see a window of emulator that is a part of our UbiqMobile plugin with two sample screens. One screen represents a screen of simple Java phone and another screen represents smartphone. Now let's try check that our application is working properly. On this screen the same. Okay, looks like we did it correctly. Let's close our debug mode, and now we will try our application on real phones. For this purpose, we need to deploy our application onto the cloud. We have in Solution Explorer window, we have a function UbiqDeploy for solution. Just choosing this function. We are asking whether we are really going to deploy on some particular IP address. Yes. And the deploying was completed successfully. Let's run our applications on real devices. We have two devices. One is Nokia Lumia with Windows Phone, and another is Nokia Asha, just Java Phone. We can see the same picture, the same application on both phones. We can press button and increase counter and decrease it. And the same we can on this phone, increase and decrease. The same thing, the same application can be run on Android and iOS devices. In our simple application, we used only one component, an application component. Our architectural designer allows to create more complex structures, architectural structures, including components, services, and library components. On the screen, you can see an example of such structure with user application, internal service, and library component. Let's consider example of more complex application that translate frames from web camera onto mobile device. To take frames from web camera, you need to start special application on the computer. It makes search of available cameras, and we can register it on the server. When it is registered, the webcam is identified by its number and PIN, and it is packed into QR code that can be read from mobile device. On our mobile device, we select webcam application. It offers us to add webcam to the list. There is no webcams installed. Now we're adding cam through QR code scanning. Okay, now we have this cam. switched, and we have a picture from this cam. We can choose interval 2 seconds, 1 second, 5 seconds. Now let's try it on Nokia Asha. We choose webcam application. The list of registered cameras is empty. Edit list. Adding new camera. And input and type its number and pin. 9551 and pin is 5552. I take it from the screen of program on the computer. Okay. We have this camera in our list and switch to them, and it works in approximately the same manner like on Nokia Lumia. Due to landscape orientation of this screen, we can see a little bit different layout, but basically it's the same application and with the same design on two different phones.